From News on 6, this is a severe weather update.
Hey, Meteorologist Travis Meyer here at this time as we get ready for some strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We have been talking about the potential for rain and thunderstorms, and they occurred obviously this morning, and then they're also occurring again at this time. No severe weather, but we've had a whole bunch of questions just because we talked about it, preached about it last night into the morning hours, and then of course Alan, Stephen, our morning storm team, Chloe, we're all covering the weather with all the rain and thunderstorms that moved to the north. And then what we're talking about right now is that there's some showers and storms in the Tulsa area. There's not a whole lot going on, which is good news. But unfortunately, it is hot, it is humid, and it is sticky, especially just south and east of Tulsa. At this moment, we have one cell that's coming in out of Glenpool, and they'll be moving across the southern sides of town. Overall, most of the metro area on the north and west sides, not a whole lot's going to happen, as most of that activity now is pushing a little bit further south and east. But we do have additional shower and thunderstorm activity that is showing up at this point just off to the south and west. Get a load of this now. Temperatures in the 80s, 90 out at Stillwater, Oklahoma City, and then just to the northwest, here's that colder air. Well, it's not cold, but comparatively speaking, we can call it colder. Temperatures in the 70s, and we have a north wind of about 20 miles per hour and much lower humidity. Right now, this high humidity has these temperatures in the low 90s, and we have heat index values around 100. And so it's like second day of fall, not acting like the second day of fall by any stretch of the imagination. We do have additional showers and a few thunderstorms that are showing up in eastern Lincoln County. And so this rain, thunderstorm activity is pretty much just moderate to occasionally briefly heavy. So we're going to continue to monitor this as it moves to the east. One of the biggest things what's going on right now has been around the Tulsa area, and John is in the immediate Tulsa area at this particular moment. And if you guys are available, John, let's get you an update from you and tell me a little bit about storms that have already moved through. Those have already taken off, moved over from Mays, really from Rogers into Mays County. They've weakened a little bit, but what did you have in that? What are you seeing right now?
Well, early on, just about an hour ago, we had this storm. It developed near Kellyville, came up across Sapulpa, South Tulsa, and then almost to Owasso, and now that's the one that's moved off to the east. Just some very heavy rain with it, no hail, and just a tiny little bit of lightning. Also, now we've got another storm pretty much on the same path down in the Kellyville area, and it is into the Sapulpa vicinity, kind of just a little bit further south than that first round. And it is going to track pretty much between Sapulpa, Glenpool, and Bixby, and then head up toward Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yep, and so right now, again, we are expecting a severe thunderstorm watch, tornado watch more likely, across areas of extreme eastern Oklahoma. I don't think that'll include Tulsa if we can get this through here before they end up issuing a watch. But you can see in the metro area at this time where John is located, heaviest rain now on the south side of town, and so that's what's going on. And also, John, while we're for some reason your video is not showing up right now, so I don't know why, but you can check on that. But that cell down around Glenpool right now, heavy downpours of rain, and so that's going to be moving up and across the southern side of the city. And so just kind of be advised for that. Back further to the northeast, some of those cells have moved up across areas of central Tulsa, and really from that started in Creek County and has moved all the way now into Mays County. And that's where we find Kevin right now. Don't see Kevin, but Kevin's someplace in here. Kevin, if you would, give us an update on what's going on.
Yeah, Travis. So right now I am headed east on Highway 69A, just east of Pryor. Getting some very heavy rainfall with this right now. The wind is basically non-existent as well. We're hovering about 80 degrees. But we're going to keep following this back east and see what it does, Travis.
Okay, thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. So again, just some rain, heavy thunderstorms, and a lot of people are kind of worried just because we've been talking kind of, I don't want to say talking it up a lot, because it is worth talking about. It's that time of year when weather starts to get a little bit more intense, and so that's when we start to see those thunderstorms that produce wind and hail. You can get them anytime, but again, there's a little bit of a peak here, a little crescendo, I guess you could say, for late September into October, as we start to see the battle zone between the cooler air and the warmer air, and this jet stream starts to slide back to the south. Right now, some heavy showers and thunderstorms showing up around Fort Gibson Lake, and then also down around the Tahlequah area. Bob is going to intercept those. goes. Bob, if you're with me right now, what's the weather like in Little Kansas, Oklahoma? What do you have for us at this moment?
Yeah, Travis, it's mostly cloudy here. It's sitting about 76. We'd had off and on showers out here. Nothing really going on at this point. You're looking kind of to the west, northwest, where we had a cell. But right now I'm not seeing anything developed over here. Back to you, Travis.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that very much. So that's something that's happening right there, and you can see at this moment. There it goes. Is that now correct?
This is on 7.
Okay, it's on 7?
Yeah.
Okay, weather 7. All right. And so we need it on weather 7. It looks like we are there right now. All right, thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. We'll go back to radar for a minute. Vaughn, which we are not really getting to talk to at this particular moment, he is kind of isolated at this second. He is off to the east of Tulsa. He does have right now vertical development with these thunderstorms. So this is where it's very warm, very humid. I guess we could say hot and humid is the best way to phrase it. And we're talking about conditions that are favorable, especially the further east you go from Tulsa, some really nasty storms. That'll include a lot of Arkansas. So if you do have travel plans, we do want you to be aware that that's going to be a bit of a problem, because this is, again, just some vertical development just starting, and you see a little bit of that kind of blowing up into here. So that's warm, moist air getting shot up in there and expanding outward across this area. So that's where the heaviest rain and thunderstorms are located. Is Vaughn back with us yet or not? Oh, hey, Vaughn. Are you there?
Yeah, hey, Trav.
Hey, I didn't know that you were there. I didn't see you on the line. So if you would, yeah, you go ahead and give me an update instead of me explaining what you have there, if you would.
Yeah, we got an updraft forming right here. You can see that updraft off to the left side, top left of that picture, but the base is here in front of me. So that updraft is kind of getting pushed off to the east from that base, but it is forming a new updraft behind it. And this is what we got to watch out for right here, because there's a lot of juicy air right in here over into Arkansas that these things can take advantage of and, possibly go severe at some point in time this evening. But that's what we got right now. Had one just pop up over me, and it's off into Arkansas already. But the one that I'm really looking at right now is once they get lightning in them, that's kind of telling you they're for real, and that is just to the east of Tahlequah. So that one may be for real, and it's going to be moving this way momentarily. So we'll pick that up as it moves towards me, Travis.
All right. Again, kind of a very active afternoon. Thanks, Vaughn. And that goes for the rest of our team, and Bob and Kevin and John for this afternoon. Stacia and Chloe are with us this afternoon, and Aaron running our storm trackers. We're just going to keep you updated for a little bit longer. Stacia also has an update as well on why we're doing this and the severe weather risk. Stacia, what do you have?
As our severe weather risk, Trav, goes into the afternoon, it actually comes up even higher, and especially where Vaughn is located over in Adair County, Cherokee County. As Vaughn mentioned, he was watching those cells east of Tahlequah. So on our storm zone, you see green, yellow, and orange. So this is the areas that we're really watching for the afternoon, as we're expecting a few thunderstorms at least to get stronger and then warrant severe thunderstorm warnings. That could be for wind and hail, but also the isolated tornado risk. There's a stationary front near Tulsa and extends back to the east over into northwest Arkansas. Then there's a cold front coming in around Oklahoma City and a surface low. So these features are all going to help enhance the severe weather potential, but it's a very warm, very humid afternoon, and there's a ton of energy for storms to work with. So this is one of our products that we look at for storm strength, and this is a lot of the energy that storms can use throughout the day. And notice there is a peak, especially east and kind of almost south of the metro too. We're getting into the oranges and the reds. So that's a really kind of juiced up atmosphere. There's also a ton of moisture, dew points. It's muggy. It's 75 in Tulsa for that dew point, but then you get to 79 down in Stigler. Travis, that's awful. 84 in Sallisaw, but the 75 in Tahlequah, that's just, that's a steamy afternoon. And then you mentioned the heat and the heat index. Sallisaw right now about 104. Eufaula feeling like 100. Muskogee feeling like 100. So you can definitely tell kind of where the most unstable atmosphere is across eastern Oklahoma. Those are the zones we're really going to watch for today. Oh my goodness, that is painful for the second day of fall. I think so many people are like, where's my fall weather? I thought it was fall. Yeah, that's that's even more summer than it was summer this last week. So again, pretty intense there. I just want to point out a couple more things here while we're live. There's
there are, again, a lot of people kind of wondering about in Tulsa for tonight. And so you are in pretty good shape for tonight. You shouldn't have to worry too much. These areas of rain and showers and storms, again, this is all marching to the east. So the backside of this now is around Stillwater and extending down to east of Oklahoma City. And you might have heard Coach Gundy. We're going to have a news conference about him coming up, I think right around about 3:30 on Channel 6. So make sure that you are tuned in for that because that affects everybody in the state. Doesn't matter if you're an OU fan or an OSU fan. Everybody is always interested in what's going on. So again, we will have that starting right around someplace around 3:20, 3:30. But if you can turn to Channel 6, we'll have the press conference and a lot of information about that, and then follow it up with additional information. In the meantime, we're looking at a shower and thunderstorm activity that will most likely be ending in Tulsa sometime around about 5 to 6 o'clock. So if you do have outdoor plans, that's the biggest question right now. How long is this going to last? Is the threat real, or is it big, or what? It's not too bad right now, other than just some really heavy downpours of rain that are marching across the area on the south side of town at this moment. And there could be a few additional cells. Some of these showers that are like out to the west, they're kind of moving and then they're just kind of losing it once they get north a little bit. So there's a higher probability now. It'll be I-44 south and east that will have the best chance of rain and thunderstorms here coming up for a while. The severe weather threat is still possible any place where it's hot and humid. So we do see that across Southern Creek County, Okmulgee County. Stacia was showing us some of those temperatures. And so we just want you to be aware of that. We're looking for hail. So hail's already starting to show up in the storm around Tahlequah. So Bob will be heading off and intercepting this cell here in just a little bit and watching what's happening with this. So we do expect, because of where this storm is located, that there is a chance that as this storm grows, there will be a higher probability of it starting to what we call rotate, and that means it'll start to spin. And if it does, then we have wind damage, hail, and very heavy downpours of rain. So that's part of this cell. This was pretty much estimated by some of our guidance right in this area that was coming out of Tulsa and then developing near Wagner and moving eastbound. So that is the case right now. As that continues to track off to the east, we are going to deal with that. So Bob is going to come across that and catch a couple of these cells, and then Vaughn will intercept the cells when they're over into Adair County. Of course, this is a very rural and rugged area, beautiful area. It's one of my favorite places for fall. But when you're chasing storms, not as exciting because it's a little bit rougher for the guys to have to be able to do that. So once again, heavy rain, thunderstorms still moving up across into the southern side of the Tulsa area. Heaviest of the rain is the Southern Creek County. The trajectory of this, and Stacia, if you could give us a future scan on where these storms are headed over the next 30 minutes to an hour, that'd be great. Again, it is hot and it is humid, and with heat index values of 100 plus in areas just south and east of Tulsa. So that morning rain helped us out a lot and cooled us off, especially if you were north of Tulsa, but very impressive as far as what's happening. Oppressive. Maybe that's a better word to use.
I think so.
Yeah. So what do you have for us there?
Okay, so this is future scan, and it will take what's currently on radar, extend it out. We can go 2 hours with this. So as you can see here, it's pretty good with trying to determine where we currently have storms. Now we'll take it out to around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, and so folks are headed home from school. And we have our storms that are out in Lincoln County now. Those get into Southern Creek County, the far eastern side of Southern Creek County. We may see those intensify a bit. The storms that we had out around Tahlequah, those are getting into northern Adair County. We'll have some cells in far eastern Delaware County. We'll watch for maybe some intensification here, Trav, on the east side of the metro, out in Wagner County, maybe from Coweta up to Shoto. That's going to be an area worth watching as well. And then continuing on to about 4:30, we'll track those storms, potentially clipping southern Tulsa County, northern Okmulgee County, watching that. We'll also track the cells from central Wagner County or north central Wagner County up into northwestern Cherokee County by 4:30. So again, there's quite a few areas worth watching for the afternoon, anywhere from 412 to the south. But these could intensify and be some troublemakers for the middle of the afternoon, Trav.
Yeah, we don't need troublemakers. We got enough trouble. We don't need that. All right, I want to go around to our storm trackers one more time, especially right in the metro area for John. So this is a live look again. So we're back at 2:53, and so that's what time it is right now. And then what's happening here in the metro, heavy heaviest rains on the south side. Any of these storms could pulse strong, so we could go with a heavy thunderstorm advisory for some of these as we start to go through. If they continue to develop, right now it's just rain and some thunder, some lightning. In fact, looking at lightning strikes is very limited. We've got John's video right now. John, looks like you're curving and cutting off, and give us an idea. I know you're driving at this moment, but give us an idea what you're driving into there, if you would.
Well, I'm in on the east side of Broken Arrow, 145th, or they call it over here Aspen, and I am headed south into that new line of storms I was talking about a few minutes ago that was at Kellyville. They're moving pretty quick because they're already into the Bixby area and headed toward Broken Arrow, so I should be right in front of it here in just a couple of seconds. And right now I'm not seeing any lightning, anything like that, Travis. Just I do see some rain shafts off to my southwest right now, so it's very heavy rain associated with this particular cell. Back to you.
Yeah, we do see that there in your video. All right, I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. So that's what he is looking at, basically at right in this zone. So again, not too worried about it, but if you do have plans, just be advised the rain showers, as Stacia was mentioning, we'll get it out of here during the late afternoon, early evening time period. But if you're east, that's what we're still concerned with at this particular moment. A little further east of town, looking at this storm that's now around the Tahlequah area, moving up, and it's kind of merging there around the Gideon area. So that's going to be running right into Bob pretty much. So the heaviest of the rain and thunderstorms now on the north side of Tahlequah. And so we have two areas, the one that's to the north, which is much weaker, around Salina. Kevin's covering that. Hey, Kevin, just quick update for you. Any changes with your storm? Anything going on?
No, Travis. So I kind of ran out of good roads, so I'm trying to get repositioned right now. When I got out of that heavy rainfall, it was still just rain, Travis. I'm not even seeing any lightning with that cell to speak of either, Travis.
All right, good. We're not going to complain. Nobody needs a tornado. We'll just call it good on that. All right, back to radar for a minute. And you see the heavier rain. This cell is trying to merge. Looks like you can see this is moving different than the other one. That's to the west. So there's three parts of this basically. See the one that's coming up on the north side of Tahlequah, the one at Gideon, and then of course the one that's coming across the lake. And so those are going to merge. So that's going to become a strong to maybe pulsing severe storm. Bob is cutting down. We're going to talk to Bob right now before it starts to get to where he can't do anything. We get to see beautiful trees, I think, with Bob for just a minute as he starts to go down along the Illinois River deal. Bob, what do you have for us before we lose you on cell coverage?
Are able to communicate. I just pulled into Cherokee County southbound on Highway 82. We've had a little light rain down here, but I'm going to try and get into where those 2-3 cells are and sample them so they're starting to show a little bit of hail activity. So we'll find out shortly. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it very much. And so, again, you can see where Bob's located. Vaughn's intercepting some of these cells that are in advance of it. Vaughn, if you're with me, we'll talk to you one more time. I see you got a great shot. What do you have for us there?
Yeah, I'm still sitting here where I was. This, I'm going to pan over here a little bit to the left, to the east. And this is where that boundary lies. And you can see all the storms are trying to fire up right on this boundary as I pan back to the west or southwest there. But that's right in line with those storms that are going up over Tahlequah that have now become looks like they're going to become the real thing there. But, yeah, we're just watching them as they try to form, and we're going to pick out the biggest and worst one and get on it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thank you, Vaughn. I greatly appreciate it. You can see a lot of vertical development going on in that zone. So once again, with this happening, mainly to the east of Tulsa, is where a lot of our concerns are, but the structure is starting to show up, and that was expected to be the case as we start to get the storm system moving into this really hot, humid air. Speaking of which, we want to go just one more time to Stacia, and then, of course, we'll be on the air as we go through the afternoon anytime there's severe weather, but we just want to make sure that you have the update. So if you're east, southeast of Tulsa, higher chance of thunderstorms. Stacia will tell us about that right now. Stacia.
All right, Trav. Okay, So for the east side of the metro, we're talking about temperatures, and even since east and southeast, it's so warm. We're in the 90s. Our heat index values are near 100. There is energy for storms. It's hot, it's humid, it's very unstable. And so anywhere near that stationary front to the south, southeast Oklahoma, that's kind of the prime zone for storms today. And we're really going to watch Wagner County, Cherokee County, Adair County, Muskogee County, Sequoia County, kind of that zone throughout the rest of the afternoon for storms that will continue to develop, continue to intensify. And then here's our storm zone today. So there is an upgraded risk out to the east of Tulsa, east and southeast for storms. And not every storm is going to cause us problems, but storms are going to be capable of all modes of severe weather today. We're talking damaging wind potential, we're talking large hail, and that isolated tornado risk. So some storms will rotate, and not every storm would produce a tornado, but some could. So we have to be well aware of that. And again, the storm strength really starts to increase as you go east of Tulsa, pretty much on 412 and south of 412. So we're going to watch those areas very closely. The dew points, I showed you this earlier, they're just ugly dew points today in the mid to upper 70s. We don't like that. It's very, very humid out there, and then it's also very hot. I mentioned the heat index near 100, still there around Muskogee. So it's primed, and we'll continue to watch for storms throughout the rest of the afternoon, early evening. Really our storm threat, especially for southeast Oklahoma, that's not going to be until this evening and into tonight. So the main zone for all of eastern Oklahoma will be from now until about 10 o'clock. A little bit later this evening, maybe 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock for far southeast Oklahoma. Trav?
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. And again, this is Future Scan, taking that one storm. Vaughn will be intercepting that, and that moves all the way to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Little concerned that that could end up becoming more of a tornadic type of storm, maybe with time. So we'll see additional showers and storms. That's what it'll look like around 4:30. All right, we're going to take a break. Of course, we'll be back at any time there's anything going on Channel 6. And of course, don't forget, we have the media conference coming up, as far as going to find out a little bit more about what's going on over at OSU and Coach Mike Gundy. That'll be live on Channel 6, so please join us for that at about 3:30 in the afternoon. Might turn it on about 3:20 just to make sure, in case it starts early. Don't think it will, but that'll take us then on into most likely our 4 o'clock newscast. So if anything happens between now and then, we will be live on the air. We will have the latest, so as we always say, keep it here. We'll keep you advised.